It's Eva. As usual, if you aren't subscribed yet, please click the button down below as well as the little bell if you want notifications for every single upload that I put up. And if you're there early, you'll be getting an instant reply from me because I'll be refreshing the comments for the first half an hour to an hour after a video has been put up. Okay, so how many of you guys are homebodies? I for sure can be one sometimes because it's just so comfy at home. Everything's where you need it, and if you need scissors or something for whatever reason, then it's here. If you need food, it's here. Everything's just at my place. Not to mention, I don't have to get dressed, do my hair, put up my hair. You know, it's just, I can be as ugly as I want at home. But if you're trying to be active on Instagram like I am, it is kind of very limiting to be at home. So I've actually partnered up with Indigo to Ash. Thankfully, they've made my life a lot easier when it comes to making Instagram aesthetic photos. They sell things like beddings, draperies, pillows, rugs, all that type of stuff, and I was allowed to pick out some pieces, and I'm so glad that I did and teamed up with them because a lot of these pieces are very versatile, especially if you're trying to take a lot of different pictures indoors. Not to mention, a lot of the patterns are really nice if you're a minimalistic person and you just want to take simple pictures that look interesting. A lot of the pieces I chose were actually from a specific brand, and it is Cultured Soul. Apparently the Cultured Soul is a traveler discovering everywhere the unity of all creeds and cultures, which is kind of interesting because this video is all about being a homebody and just taking nice pictures at home. But aside from that, I do like traveling when I can go out and travel. So I mean, in a way it kind of matches with me. Not to mention all the patterns that I chose from this are pretty different, just because I like versatility, and having the same thing throughout your whole home the entire time does get boring, so it's nice to change things up. But don't worry, a lot of these tips aren't all about beddings, draperies, pillows, and everything, although they do play a pretty big role because they act as really nice backdrops. But anyways, if you're trying to make it look like you have a life indoors while tricking people thinking that you're very active and doing many different things, then this is perfect for you. I guess let's just get right into this video, starting with the basics. The first thing that I feel like is the most important one is probably having a nice white backdrop. I just find that white walls really open up a place and makes it look a lot brighter, not to mention it makes lighting look better too. I was blessed to have some white brick walls, which is very beneficial because it's not plain and super boring. Also, if you're going for very simple photos, all you have to do is just hold something up against it and take a picture. The next most important thing is having lighting. You can either have artificial or natural lighting. I personally prefer natural lighting. With natural lighting, you're going to want to take pictures close to windows or any other sunlight source. If the lighting is too harsh, you can always soften it with a light white sheet. I have slightly tinted windows, so my lighting is already softened, so I don't really have too much of a problem. And also, you can manipulate the shadows of your photos if you have blinds by just playing around with which way they are directing the light. Next up is making use of your bed or bedroom. I personally really like using my bed as a base for flat lays because whatever I put in the photo has more of a cushioned look, so it looks more naturally placed in my opinion. And don't worry, only whatever is shown in the photos has to be clean, so if you have the tendency to keep your room messy, then it's no big deal. Okay, so something that I feel like is a must-have is white bed sheets. Like I mentioned before, white is just an overall nice base to start with for photos. If white is too plain for you, using whatever bed sheets you have works too. I'm using the Cultured Soul coverlet in Honeycomb Gray because it's a light neutral color and has a pattern that's not too overwhelming. It's also nice to take flat laid pictures on the bed because you can manipulate the background, so if you want more wrinkles or texture, you can just add it. By the way, I don't actually take my Instagram photos with my phone camera, I actually use my DSLR most of the time. Next up is adding a pop of color. You can have an entire monochromatic look if you want to, but I like to jazz things up with a little bit of color. For the Instagram picture that I took that you guys probably would have seen if you guys follow me on Instagram is the pillows from Indigo to Ash. They're the 22-inch Cultured Soul pillows in Cobalt Chevron. In that case, I use these pillows, but you can always use everyday objects around your house as props for color too, like flowers or jewelry. If you don't have nice bed sheets, you can always opt for being resourceful and using whatever backdrops or fabrics you have laying around the house. Recently, I've been using this marble vinyl I got online a lot, but I know that's not within everyone's budget. So something else you can use could be curtains, towels, large shirts, blanket, etc. Whatever you can find around your house. This in particular is a curtain from Indigo to Ash's Cultured Soul collection in Black Smoke. I do find that it can look a little busy, so adding a white cutting board or tissue paper to balance out the texture helps a lot. This is actually a pretty nifty trick to make it look like you're actually going out. Using the fabrics and backdrops from the previous video, you can slide one under another to create depth and imitate tablecloth. This way you can also change up your so-called restaurant's look whenever you feel like it. When your table is set, when your food looks fabulous, you can take a picture from a top angle, and this is generally what it would look like. If you cropped into a square and you don't include the normal tiled floors of your house, then it looks pretty much like you're at a restaurant. And finally, piggybacking off the previous tip, use the backgrounds to create the illusion of different floors that you may be walking around on, quote, outside, when you're really just inside showing off different shoes. And those are all of my tips. If you guys want to learn more about Indigo to Ash, I'll leave the links down below. Let me know if you've ever done any of these tricks, like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!